That's what I wanted to see right there. There's two more things that are hooked up to our temporary living quarters, our little shack over there. One is the satellite internet, which is supposed to be getting transferred over to the house sometime in the next week, week and a half. And the other is the power to the well. This is the power to the well that goes over to the temporary power pole right here. This conduit goes to the 400 amp main, our main power pole for this property. All I have to do basically is pull the wires out of this conduit, disconnect them inside the pump house, pull them out, cut this conduit. This is 1.5 inches, this is 2 inch, so we'll have a reducer. So we'll cut this conduit, we'll swing it over and slip it into the reducer, connect all this up, feed the wires back through, actually probably from the pump house that way because it'll flow better. Feed the wires back through, hook them up, and we'll have power back out of the pump house only from our 400 amp main panel. That wasn't too bad. Digging the last little part of this ditch, I was really worried. There's a water line in here somewhere, but I think it's to my left of this power pipe, power conduit, whatever you want to call it. So I was a little worried about breaking that water pipe because it is the water pipe that feeds our house. This conduit is the power source for the pump house right now that comes off the temporary power pole that we're trying to get rid of. We have two things left hooked up out there. One is the satellite internet, which is supposed to get transferred to the house, I think in about a week, week and a half. And the other is the power to the pump. So we've got this all hooked up. My plan, and I'm not going to glue that in together until I figure out which end would be easier to glue together, because you got to slide them together, so you got to pick the pipes up and connect them together and put them back down. It might be easier to glue both these connections at the same time, but I'm going to pull the wires out of this, disconnect them from the pump house, pull the wires out of this conduit, cut the conduit probably right about here, put a reducer from 2 inch to 1.5 inches, because there's different size conduits. Swing this pipe over and connect it up so it's one piece from the pump house all the way out to the 400 amp main. And then I'll just feed the wires back through, connect them up at both ends, and we'll have power back at the pump. It's just got to happen pretty quick because we won't have water while we're doing this. So I'm thinking I'm going to get everything lined up and ready to go, and then we'll just pull the wires and connect up these pipes, stuff the wires back through. We shouldn't be without water or without power to the pump for more than, I want to think, a couple hours. So we should be able to live. I think it'd be all right. I'm going to go make sure I have everything I need before I start this. The wire itself is reusable because it's longer going through that 1.5 inch conduit and down to the temporary power pole than I'm going to need to go from my 400 amp main out here. So the wire is reusable. I'm going to need glue, make sure my glue is fresh from my conduit. Make sure I have some of that lube to spray down in the conduit to help feed the wires easier. And oh, the breaker. I need to make sure I have the correct breaker for that 400 amp main box out there. I don't know if the breaker in the temporary power pole is going to work with the breaker or the 400 amp main box. So I'll double check that. light, outlet, well. Didn't blow the breaker. Must be wired right. The only thing left to do is fill in this ditch, and I'll get on that in a few minutes. I'm going to coil up this wire, about 50 foot of wire left over. Coil this up and might use it on the garage build. Maybe I need to do some heavy duty wiring inside the garage somewhere. But we're basically done. Power to the pump house from the main, the 400 amp main. Until next time, guys, go make something. I really wish you would shut up. We all know it's morning. We're all wide awake. You're just a little late to the game.